for me, I think it comes down to as long as you trust your collaborators, I'd rather have 10% of a watermelon than 100% of a grape. So again, if you can eat more when you have more people hunting, I guess is the way to look at it. So,
Chris, drop those nuggets of wisdom.
Welcome to the Entrepreneurship podcast with X.T.C. I'm Shalonda.
I'm Tristian.
And I'm Chris.
As an entrepreneur starting or growing your business, you may have a destination, but the journey getting there can be a trip. We want to be your travel companions and inject a dose of X.T.C as we explore real-life conversations about navigating the world of entrepreneurship in the U.S. and the Caribbean. Come take this trip with us.
Welcome, trippers. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. Welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneurship, where you're here kicking it with my girl,
Shalonda.
I'm Tristian, and there's my homeboy,
Chris.
And today we're going to give you a little conversation about to collaborate or not to collaborate. Before we get there, I need me a drink.
All right. What you all drinking? What you all drinking, X.T.C?
I was drinking. I'm running a little. I don't know if I...
You're going to need a refill.
It's the sun. It's evaporating. It's part of our science project. I was trying to understand how it works. You know, this Texas heat, Virgin Islands sun. You know, there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
A lot going on.
Shalonda, how about
we're going to have to put a cap on those drinks for you because it's already sideways.
I thought we capped it at like 2 minutes when we started. Now we're down to a minute. Like the cap's almost over.
All right, I'm just having me a nice carbonated soda, no additives.
There you go.
I needed that to go with this.
I have a.
You need soda.
I just have a little tea here, but if I want, I got a little bottle to tip in if I start getting a little extra thirsty. So that's what I'm
Chris
sipping.
Did that. Chris just reminded me of that old Bad Boys video where they just had the bottles clicking down the We're not gonna do that. We're not just gonna like show that we just got stuff sitting on the side. It's not like we're sitting in a bar just talking about what it is we sipping while we tripping. We're here to talk about a little collaboration and how well sometimes that carbonated soda goes good with a little rum. And maybe vodka sometimes. Who knows?
You have to be prepared. You got the liquor over here. I got my coffee machine over here. I got water. I got tea. I mean, you don't know what kind of meeting you're going to get into,
Never know. He's already prepared for the hangover before it started. So let's unpack this conversation.
Let's go.
So
ladies and gents.
About to collaborate or not to collaborate. So
you see the little smirk out the side of her cheek, like collaborate or not to collaborate.
Because we already had a conversation offline, so we need to get our listeners up to speed. So you take the first part.
I'm not sure where this conversation is going to go, but I'm going to give you guys a definite disclaimer. Whatever happens on this episode stays on this episode. You're just going to drop a like in the little like box, click that thumbs up. We're going to drop a comment and let me know that I'm right. And if Shalonda's right, you guys click love or sign. You see how she just sipped the minor business? She's like, I'm already right. All right, guys. So we're here. We want to talk about collaborating just a little bit. And it's going to lead into another discussion for sure. But I just want you guys to sit tight and bear with us through this one. So for me, collaborating is the action of working with someone to produce or create something. And I find it very hard to determine when to collaborate. And the reason why I find it very hard to figure out when to collaborate is because I love collaborating. I love bringing people in on projects. I love just working with other people to try and get things done. different point of views, different feel, a little more creativity. And I feel like whoever it is you're collaborating with them because there's someone you believe and trust that you could learn something from. Like I'm on the entrepreneurship collaborating with Shalana, not because I like her, but because I know I could learn a lot of time management from her.
I will remember that, Tristan.
We know Tristan's end game here.
Dig your grave. Dig your grave. Go ahead.
But unlike with Chris, someone I love collaborating with, he's a free spirit, but sometimes it could lead to our detriment. So at different points in time, we got to figure out, just like the clients that we want, we also got to figure out who it is we collaborate with, why we want to collaborate with them, and when is the best time to collaborate with them. I'm thinking about it now, Shalana, and what I think a lot of people don't know is Shalana and I collaborate on a lot of projects together. A lot of projects together. I'm thinking about little snapshots by the waterfront, the ones in the offices, just us running around, coffee table Snapchats to friends that's not really friends because they don't show up to coffee time. But we're not going to do that to them, right? We're not going to call Pam out, are we? Shalana, we're going to call Pam out? I mean, are we going to call our friend? No. Okay, so we're not calling our friends out on this episode. But that's but that's truly just the gist of it. When is it that you guys determine when it is that you want to collaborate? Chris, I'll let you go first.
I think the biggest part, and this is tough to come by, so it's not something you can just go out and find right now, but it's finding the people that you trust enough to collaborate with, where you feel that your brand is that you as a person as well as the entrepreneur are going to be represented in front of a client, or that you're the same amount of work and effort is going to go into the project from those people who you are collaborating with, because it's sort of that that like class project thing, where you get assigned a group.
That's what I was thinking.
You get assigned a group, and all of a sudden 3 out of the 4 or 5 members are the ones who end up doing the entire project, but everybody gets credit for it. That doesn't leave too many people feeling happy at the end of it. So it's but if you are able to select your group, and you don't just do it as friends, but as people that you're like, hey, I know that we can like crush this project if I work with this person, this person, this person, and that person, then to me that is when you collaborate, is when you find a team that can help take the project to a place that is better than where you feel you could have taken it by yourself.
That's dope.
I totally agree with that. One of the ways I don't collaborate with everybody, because I know that I'm not the easiest person to work with, right?
I disagree. No, I really do. Like, I mean, I joke about it a lot, but listen, the structure. But you're really phenomenal to work with. Like, really, like super easy. But
I think that's where it comes to the value alignment, though, Tristan. Right? Like, for me, time is very important because it's the only resource that we cannot get back. We can make money back. We can get another client, we can buy resources back, but time we can't get back. And so that's one of my pet peeves. Like, my time is valuable, especially all of us as entrepreneurs where we have multiple things going on. I need to work with collaborators who value time. You spoke about it in a previous episode. When we have a shoot at 7:30, we're there 7 o'clock.
Yep.
So the shoot could start at 7:30 because our client's time is important, but so is ours, right? The other thing that's important for me with collaboration is producing quality output. Whatever it is that we're working on needs to make all of us look amazing and not to be half stepping. That is another one of my pet peeves. And then I think the last pet peeve for me is that a lot of the projects I do with people who I'm considering collaborating with are passion projects that I might do at no cost. And if I feel you're motivated by money, like you will work your ass off if we have a paid project, but you're going to skimp on a pro bono project,
right?
that tells me our values aren't aligned, because the quality that I produce on a pro bono project is the same as I'm going to produce on a
Absolutely.
paid project. You know what I mean? So I think
Yep.
when it comes to, yeah, so quality, your time, and don't give me a headache. I'm collaborating because I'm trying to build capacity, right? So we're helping each other build capacity. And to your point, Chris, like we're able to produce something better, greater than we could do on our by ourselves. And so for me, that's some of the key things I look for when I'm collaborating. So I don't have a lot of collaborators. I got really
Likewise.
good quality ones. Yeah, I got really good ones, but I ain't got
Well,
a big corp. Hmm?
I want you guys to keep this in mind. At exactly 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, I want you guys to just remember what it is Shalana said at that moment. All right, just remember
3 minutes
3:30.
and
You're
30.
gonna skim back to 3:30. No, we're not gonna run the clock
Okay.
back. I'm just letting them know you're gonna want to look back at 3:30 a little later in the episode. But Chris, like you guys said though, and we plan our episodes. We do speak about it. However, we don't do it collectively all the time. And
Mhm.
it's funny how it is our views align. Because when I thought about the collaboration, what I thought about was definitely that class school project. All right. If anybody asks, I'm gonna let you guys know. I'm the slack of the group. I got two wonderful collaborators. Shalanda lets us know whatever it is. Sometimes I sneak calls to Chris to be like, "Yo, Chris, what I miss," and Chris just works his
All right.
ass off to pull the project together. And then the time comes in and they're like, "Yo, Tristan, just go up there and speak." And I'm like, "So this is what I'm gonna do." All right. So we spoke about when it is that we do want to collaborate, but is there any red flags that you guys look at really quickly to know these might be people we don't want to collaborate with? I mean, Shalanda, you touched on it a little bit with skimping on passion projects and not paid
Lack of
projects, but is there anything else?
lack of responsiveness. I'm big on time management, but I'm even bigger on communication. My thing is over communicate with me. I'm okay with that. But when I hear crickets
Mhm.
that and the project can't move forward, like
Relax.
that's when I need to start, pouring some liqueur into my drink, because yeah, because I start to lose my shit. Like it's common decency to just communicate,
Mhm.
especially when you're on a time bound project, right? Which a lot of us do project based work. And if so, for example, I'm on a project right now for a month, and we have a certain set of deliverables that need to happen with the client. When I solidified that contract, I picked a collaborator that I know is even more of an oral communicator than I am, who is more conscious about time as I am, because I know I'm not going to have to worry about those aspects when it comes to the project. My job would be to stay on top of the client to make sure they're responding on time, right? But now with the collaborator, I don't have to worry about that. So a collaborator should really ease some of the worry that comes with the project.
Mm.
Mm. Chris, we're about to take a detour.
We are
She
about
did
to take a
time
detour.
management this segment. All right, guys. So we're talking about the beauty of collaborating and how a lot of people sometimes like to work together with other people, but not all the time it works out the way that we want it to work out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna quick little scope about how it is or flags that we look for that determine those factors. Where it is we might pump our brakes on working with a collaborator. Go ahead, Chris.
I think somewhat similar to what Shalana was saying, but also in addition to, and this is part of the communication, but having clear expectations for how you want me to collaborate with you, and vice versa. Like, why am I being chosen to work on this project versus somebody else, and why am I bringing somebody on a project versus somebody else? And just kind of like the thing that where my brain goes to is I was brought on to work on a music video for like a music producer. He was starting his music production career, and I was like, sure, like I'll be happy to be a second shooter and come in and help you out. Got on that project, and basically in front of the client, so the music artist, and the guy was like, okay, so like Chris, like what do you want to shoot? How do you want to do this? And I was like,
I hate that.
whoa, okay, so now I'm leading the
Yep.
production, and basically ended up being where the person ended up who brought me onto the shoot ended up actually putting down his camera at one point and just like sitting down, like watching me do the shoot. So
Love that we're in
to
the
me,
same
that
field.
was my big red flag of like something I wouldn't do again, which is walk in and just be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll be happy to just show up and help, unless we've established that trust where like a Shalanda or Tristan, if you're like, hey, just show up here at this time on this day, you'll thank me later. I trust you guys. I will show up, on that.
Yeah.
But to somebody I haven't worked with yet, it's like, okay, well, hold on. Well, what day, what time, why are we doing this? What am I going to do? What do I need to bring? What are my expectations? You know what I mean? Like, what do I need to prepare for? And that to me is the biggest factor is, is there a clear outset of A, what the project is, and B, what my role is in that project.
So you get a
Perfect.
prenup for you.
Exactly.
Definitely clean it up. But I want to show you guys something really quick. Chris, you ready for this? So what I do believe in is making sure as a collaborator that we understand the scope. Chris, I gave you something and I want you to just like show it really quickly if you can. We got about a minute. This is going to take 45 seconds. Look at Shalanda's face. This is going to be beautiful. So I want you just to look at this moment as it slowly comes into focus, right? I told you guys about the 3-minute mark of the first segment. You're going to go back there when she was talking about working with collaborators that believe certain things in passion projects and stuff like that, something like that. So Shalanda, I just want you to tell us how you feel about what it is you just saw. And you could go back and look at the dates to see how long
First
it
of all,
lasted.
that was not a pro bono project.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was not a pro bono project.
No, I'm not. I told you that was going to happen.
That was a project with other people, right? With other companies.
That I chose to collaborate with you.
Yes, you chose to collaborate with me on. However, I had set expectations early on that, for the video, it needs to be compensated.
Right. And this is the beauty of collaborating. And this is what Chris was speaking to, is making sure that we understand the scope, that both collaborators are on the same page. And one is not telling you, I will not cash the check. And the other one is telling you, you're going to cash the check. So I just want you to know, because we rolled the video, it kind of kicked my clock back.
Yep.
And this is the one time that I'm happy that we got a detour from the detour. All right, guys. Love you guys. Let's get some souvenirs on this trip. No, you just took in the view wearing souvenirs. You just took in the view wearing souvenirs. Oh, now Chris is drinking his tea and minding his business.
Did I hit? No, that was souvenirs.
That was souvenirs. Yes, it was souvenirs. My number one souvenir is make sure that your collaborator is going to accept your payment once you give them money. But I mean, okay, so on a serious note, even though you didn't cash the check and you burnt it so dramatically for the for the video,
very dramatically,
at least you know, I value your time, I value your expertise, and I value what you bring to the table, because anytime I show that video to somebody, they are thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly impressed. So when we talk about quality of output, beyond, I mean, I showed it to somebody who has a very creative, artistic eye up to last week. They're in video and photography as well. And they were raving about the colors, how bright and crisp and clean everything was. But that's to my point, right? That I was making earlier. When it comes to my collaboration, I look at quality, I look at respecting our time, and I look at communication. Those are 3 critical areas when you're collaborating with anybody. And also value alignment, right?
Right.
Is another one that we kind of hinted on, but did not really say explicitly, that there needs to be a value alignment with your collaborators. For example, this podcast that we're doing, none of us are getting paid for it. We do it because we want to bring value to the entrepreneurship community. Is there an opportunity to make money from it? Absolutely. But we're getting to swim together on this project in a pro bono situation until it possibly materializes and then we can bank, right?
Right.
So
And I
the
think this is
quality
one of the upper.
is another example why it's great to collaborate with people who are experts in their field, right?
Agreed.
Agree.
Mm-hmm.
Agree. And what I was going to say is that it also gives us the opportunity to show them what the entrepreneurship is really about. It's really about sometimes collaborating with others, that our views, our values align, to sometimes give a project or give of ourselves, not necessarily for monetary values right off the bat, but just building something that we can see in the future. And that's what it means to collaborate. Like I said, the action of working with someone to create or produce something. And that's what it is that we're doing. And you definitely said it. I do know that you respect my time. I do know that you respect and value me as a person and as a business. And that's why for me, seeing you once again investing in something, trying to build something, I had no problem saying that I'll collaborate. You was my big sis who's out there trying to, I want to say, graduating, doing so much things at the same time. That, I mean, to me, it's not even, I don't want to say it's not even fair to say that something would have been unfair, but it's for me to let you know that I do believe in what it is that you're doing. I do believe in the work that you're putting forth, you know, and what it is that you do also. So I'm only going to give Chris about 10 seconds to think about what it is that he want to share with us in that taking the view moment. You already started with the in this segment, so we're going to let you do it again in the next.
Sounds good. Let's go into taking the view. All right. So this is just a Chinese proverb, unattributed currently, so I don't know the author, but it is only when all contribute their firewood can they build a strong fire. It takes a group of people to build something that will last.
I'm sorry, Chris. Can you say that one more time?
Only when all contribute their firewood can they build a strong fire. It takes a group of people to build something that will last. I had a couple quote options. I went with that one. Just we're on fire today.
Literally.
But it does go back to the point of when all contribute the firewood. It's not people sitting around the fire who didn't contribute the firewood or who didn't help go find the wood. It is everybody brought something to the fire, and as a result built a much bigger fire than we could have built just on our own. And that kind of goes back to where we started with this podcast is how does this coming together builds upon what we can do by ourselves. How does it enhance it? We were talking about prenups and stuff, so if we're just going a relationship thing, there's a lot of people who say, oh, they're that person is my other half, or that person makes me whole. The way I always look at it is, no, it's 50-50. If like we're coming together, or to me, a strong relationship is when by being together, you are able to do more or achieve or accomplish things greater than you could do by yourself. So it's not, and nobody's taking anything from you, they're adding to, and that is when to collaborate. As we've talked here, is when you find those people that you can trust, like Shalonda and Tristian here, where again, we just know that if I have somebody say, hey, like we need to build a big fire, we need to build it now, I'm calling Tristan and Shalonda because I know they're going to bring wood for the fire, and we're gonna and we're gonna all benefit. Exactly.
Yeah, multiplier effect for sure. Yeah. It's more than just three, because even when we think of collaborating, and I know we have a short time on the clock, but when we collaborate and we have this level of trust, whenever opportunities come up, because we know that if we refer our collaborator, they're going to do good work, we're more willing to do that, right? Because even though we've done pro bono stuff, I've brought in all my collaborators on other paid projects that I'm working on, because I know that they're going to produce quality work and they're going to make me look good and they're going to benefit. So it's kind of paying it forward.
Tristan, how about you?
What comes to mind is we all lose when the family feuds, and And for me, that's what it is. We're family collaborators, and that's what it is. So when we come together and we work together, we achieve so much more. We build and go so much more farther than, like you were saying, us building that fire pit by ourselves. Like, and you were speaking about it being the 50-50. For me, I never really look at anything as 50-50. It might be a 60-40, a 70-30. However, without that 30 in that 70, you still gonna make the 100. Without that 40 from the 60, we still work to get that 100%, and that's just where it is that we're at. We have to acknowledge and work efficiently with each other, and that's why it is we collaborate. Is because if I was doing it by myself, this is going to take way longer. Shalana never looks back and is like, you know what, Tristan, we're going to do this, drop this here, we're going to put this there, Shalana just kind of throws it up. She's like, you know what? And this is the beauty of the most structured person, is when they could just like toss you the project. And what resonates with me is just the deadline. She's like, look, by Friday, I need to see something. And how she speaks about this communication and just don't leave me. She knows by Friday she would have something. Earlier, well, before this podcast, we were talking about Zen times to me, like that 3 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning, wake up where you get things done. Shalana knows at 4 o'clock, 4:30, she might be getting that draft. She's like, oh no, I want to change this. You might have spelled this person's name wrong, or you didn't do. By the 8 o'clock, by the time that the project needs to be there, I'm not even sure Shalana sweats, but I'm sweating because I know I want to make sure she gets a project in hand, and I just get the little sweet, thank you. And then it's a Stella, like, it was bomb, it was this, it was that. But it couldn't be those things if we didn't collaborate. It couldn't be those things if I didn't have someone that set up those interview times, that kept it structured. Hey, Tristan, this is a great interview. Chris seems pretty amazing and all, but we got to go. We got another interview waiting for us at this time. And it's just that the beauty of that structure. Nobody's going to believe, Shalana, that's exactly why you got kicked out of the group this morning. It had nothing to do with anything. We had to just double check the video was running.
Just make sure that the burn-in check was there. Technical difficulties,
And this is the beauty of that collaboration. But I'm not going to run this segment on for too much longer. Chris, I'm going to let you wrap us.
Well, yeah, no. And again, this was a great episode about collaborating or not to collaborate. For me, I think it comes down to as long as you trust your collaborators, I'd rather have 10% of a watermelon than 100% of a grape. So again, if you can eat more when you have more people hunting, I guess is the way to look at it. So
Chris, drop those nuggets of wisdom.
Any last thoughts from the X or the T?
Give me that 10% of the watermelon.
Tristan.
I'm done, Mike. I'm done. Damn.
All right, trippers. Thank you so much for joining us here on this episode of, to collaborate or not to collaborate. And next week we're getting into delegation. So we'll see you then.
Delegating that to Shalana. Bye.
Thank you for taking this trip with us. We hope you had a great time. Join us every Tuesday for another dose of X.T.C. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and visit us at theentrepreneursstrip.com for more entrepreneurship tips and tricks.